Hello, everybody on YouTube. Leo 12 Scar 12 here, Taylor here once again. And today I want to discuss about a new life discussion 2024 video of and this time I'm going to be speaking with some stoicism in this kind of category. Where you see there has been a mental decline, there's been a decline of mental and emotional health for people. And so far a lot of people in this society has becoming getting worse and worse throughout these times. So right now, the only topic that I can actually think of today is let's say emotional and mental healing. So yes, why emotional and mental healing? Because there has been a lot of times that when men or women have been going through a lot of trauma in their childhood life and comes up into the point where things have not been going well for them in this life. So, so mental and emotional health is pretty vital in a physical role. So without no healing and with physical, with the emotional and mental healing, there will be the physical body will also have a unexpected, let's say, collateral damage between the heart, mind, and of course even the whole body. So here are three So here are three healing methods to try to heal your emotional and mental health and what you can do to help yourself physically. Number one, losing, getting rid of old bad habits. Usually both parties of gender were also have been have been associating with bad habits and why, and many of them comes in many shapes and forms, such as alcohol or marijuana. Well, mainly people would say weed for short, and many other forms of such as other drugs that are substances can be really intoxicating towards the mind. Sure, they may say that it is a powerful way to overcome and subdue their depression and loneliness because many people have not been able to come out of these kind of situations. So I want to pull a full example of so many bad habits and why they are so of why these things could ever happen. Now, example for once, like the legendary samurai named Miyamoto Musashi. See, the only dark habit that he had in his time is that he was resorting through combat with his own sword, cutting and slashing his enemies down to the very brim of their bone. However, this man was not only a mere samurai of a swordsman, but he was also a philosopher. And there was also some cool and very wise stoicism in his category between that. And yes, with the emotional and why I'm speaking about the healing of your emotional and mental health is sometimes to get rid of these bad habits. See, even a bounty hunter or certain bad habits of, hurting, like bounty hunting or becoming a mercenary could be a bad habit. You would kill for money. And believe me, no one would want that. But there's also bad habits of why people choose not to use these bad habits of using drugs is the fact that they cannot get over their depression. That or they're just losing or they just lost their way. They're in lowest points. So yeah, that's number one. Refrain from drug abuse. Number two, cutting ties from toxic people that ruins your life, let alone your emotional and mental health. People who are intoxicating, such as like either friends, family members, or even future love lives, could also mean that that person is intoxicating, either be abusing you in many shapes and many forms between a man or a woman. So, with that truth being said, many people who have suffered in silence because of this unworthy and unruly, unspeakable event of intoxication of a toxic person. So, with that truth being told, it's also the reason why so many people struggle to this very day. For some Stoicism, there Stoics in history times, Most Stoics who've been going through a lot of challenges in their lives could be mighty warriors or could be like female warriors, usurpers included, because even though a person may say that they are so stronger in many shapes and forms, it is because the intoxications of the person that they probably encountered in their time is also pretty strong in many shapes and forms. Like, say, if that toxic person can know many shapes and forms, try and manipulate that person. Oh, believe me, manipulation in many shapes and forms is a very toxic move, let alone being in toxic relationships between either a man or a woman. And I know I said it a few times, but it is actually the really brutal truth of why us today, we also are slaves and victims to manipulation. And trust me, it is not looking pretty. And just like the example of Miyamoto Musashi, he was usually forced into combat between manipulation in many shapes and forms, but that man was a philosopher. But like I said, intoxicating people of toxic relationships in many shapes and forms can also be the main root of bullying. And yes, bullying is also the main reason why people are so toxic to this very day. And I know I said this before back into my previous videos back in 2022 and in 2023, because there are times that we all will go through manipulation in many shapes and forms, but it's because of the toxic person. And I'm not trying to say that, and I'm not saying not all people are, and I'm not trying to say that all people are toxic people. No, no, no. I mean, there are certain people out there who does these terrible things because they have not understand that even they too could be going through manipulation and shapes and forms. Yes. And number three, painful losses. Yes, many people. So why do I have to say painful losses? Is because this is the healing mechanism between the of coping with this is like this. Like, say, if a loving person or a man or a woman who have lost their significant other by death or lost a loved one in death, that means that they could not have the strength to move on. However, the best way to cope with such mechanism of this depression of these losses is because you got to learn to heal and press on. Or if that individual say that if he or she lost a good loving one to death, that person was really hurt, like they lost a chunk of something what they had, like a mother or a father figure in their life. So sometimes it's better to remember the good things we share with the people that we loved and cherished in our lives back in the day. And I'm not saying this to open up wounds. I'm saying this to be more educational and try to help heal it, you know? These videos are meant for educational purposes, not for motivation of abuse of many shapes and forms. No, only to only to heal, not decay. So the best attribute to heal from the losses of a loved one is that you sometimes you got to learn to remember the things they did for you in a good, fair way. And maybe a grandmother or a grandfather or a mother or father or aunt or uncle or cousin or a loved one. See, a lot of a lot of us people who have suffered through these times is because of the loss of a family member. And some of us don't even know our family members and we lost them by bloodline, even in non-bloodline as well. So with that truth told, it's better to remember to heal with emotional and mental health. Because for if we learned how to keep these, so let us try to evaluate and value the life that we could share with emotional and mental health. So with that truth told, it's better to of these three things: avoid avoid substances, avoid toxic people, and of course, even healing from painful losses of a loved one in their families and friendship circles. So, Do you guys relate to any of these in the video? Let me know in the comment description below. And as always, give my video a like and subscribe to my channel if you wish to see more life discussion videos. And this is the 2024 version of it. So guys, I'll see you guys next time. Take care and thank you for watching.